had just seen it. Now Michigan comes out with a completely new thing to call their bluff and crushes them this time. And the thing that I think is unique is that Michigan's characters they're newer, they're new to the meta, they're adapting to, or even just new ways to play old ones, right? You know, and so I'm looking to see Ohio State this game say, you know, we've learned what you have just shown us. You know, we're learning on the fly, we're adapting on the fly, and we're going to come out with something proactive. And so here we are, the bans again. Vel'Koz banned Jax LeBlanc. Now, is this going to be a Nautilus, or is it going to be a Katarina, or is it going to be a Kha'Zix? I think it's going to be Kha'Zix. I think they've just witnessed the destructive power. Yep,
there's the Kha'Zix.
They cannot let that thing stand.
And the Nautilus gets through, immediately picked up by Ixen
Ooh, yeah, this is a rock and a hard place, you know, very, very much right now for Ohio State. You know, they didn't really seem to have a good answer for Nautilus last time.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, last time they picked the Trundle first,
yes,
and then they picked the Nautilus into it, right?
Yeah.
And so now they may have kind of another option here. You know, interestingly enough, OSU plays things like Gnar, Gangplank, Fiora. They play Poppy. Poppy's banned. But those are characters that can fare pretty decently on a wide number of axes, right?
Yeah.
You know, depending on what kind of style you want to go for. And yet, here we go, 4th Alistar pick, kind of showing off. Oh, in another vein, this is... you know, the Alistar pick I think is cool. I think it might be foreshadowing something we might see in the pros scene.
Yeah.
Maybe they just really like Alistar. The vein, though, this I think might be a weakness of Pustoy's champion pool. Because I think Ezreal has proven not to be super effective in the games that we've seen.
Yep.
But Pustoy was getting pretty wrecked by Jhin that game, and I see no reason. Value is going for the maximum value and just doing it again. I mean, this is... So far, these are 3 of the picks that Michigan used to ace the first game. You can't pick LeBlanc anymore, but if you did Katarina Elise and just went with a very similar comp, this could be a quick 20 minutes. We need to see it from OSU.
Yeah, the pressure certainly is on Ohio State right now, and trying to recover and bring it to a Game 5, to bring it to Silver Scrapes, if they could make that happen.
Yeah.
Probably they do want to save that... mid pick for last, so they got jungle, top, and mid lane. So let's see what they decide to go for here. If they decide to show something a little bit soon, which gives an opportunity for Michigan to react, or if they are going to counter themselves, go for something a little bit more different. 15 seconds on the clock, and they haven't shown us anything yet.
They do have the last pick counter pick for Paradigm, which I think has done well for him. Yeah, I think the Vi for Nexus. Ooh, and now Nasus.
Whoa.
Okay, this could be a very real thing. So in general, Nasus can be a really strong pick into something like Nautilus. It is now on Michigan to pick a very powerful jungler that can camp the living hell out of this character. However, Quas, you know, formerly of Team Curse and Energy and all that stuff, Quas has kind of been a big innovator. If there's crazy stuff happening in the top lane, he's usually one of the first dudes on it. There is an E-Max... kind of AP-ish Nasus that has been kind of making the rounds and doing quite well, and kind of nullifies the laning phase, right? And says like, hey, I don't want to get close to you.
Yeah, just Spirit Fire on the minions.
I'm just kind of get all my gold, and then I'm going to stack up, and then I'm going to do it. And so now, I love this answer. I love the Rise. I think, you know, keep rooting, keep going. And Graves, Nautilus can totally blow up a Nasus, but now it's all in Paradigm.
Yeah.
He's got to find it.
He's going to have to deal with Julius on Rise, which I believe is one of his more played. Yeah, so far Julius has 60 games this season on Rise. So after the showing that Faker gave at Worlds, I can imagine we're going to see some pretty cool stuff. But now it's OSU, as you said, looking for their final pick. Nasus in the top lane to deal with Ixen. Graves banned away in game number 1 by OSU. That was actually a target ban and dropped ever since the LeBlanc came back in. So that finally made it through.
Yeah.
So Rhubarb showing, hey, if I can't take Kha'Zix, I'll just blow you up with another melee range.
Right. Now I will say there's something important to note about this Rise pick, right? You know, we talk about the 58 games, the 60 games. There's no guarantee that all of those were on the new Rise, right? Because Rise was a very popular pick even before his update.
Yep.
You know, a number of these could be on that. We're talking the whole season long. Uh-oh.
Is that the young AP Kog'Maw?
That is. I don't know how I like picking something like Kog'Maw into Nautilus. So far, I will just be straight up. I think that they are very, very weak to Nautilus right now.
Okay.
You know, getting point clicked on in a situation where you then need to split up a lot is not where you want to be, because if you spread out and they spread out, karma shields are going on everybody.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and so I think very much, I actually thought Echo might have been a fine pick into this one. I also think the difficult thing here is that Ryze is someone you want to pressure in the laning phase. Kog'Maw does not do that.
Yeah. So the big concern for me is you've got Vayne, Kog'Maw, Nasus. Sure, you've got late game if you can make it there.
Yeah.
There's a Ryze, Graves, and Jhin going to be running around all over, Karma running around all over the place looking for picks and opportunities. It's really going to have to be a lot on Nexavis, I think, in this early game to keep the lanes of Ohio State safe, to keep them in a position where they can continue to farm nice and safely.
Yeah.
And more importantly, if he can get ganks, if he can get kills, if he can make that happen, then the 50-minute timer comes down to 55, and then another kill down to 50, and so on. But this is... So we said, can they show us something new? They're showing us something new.
They did show us something new. You are correct.
Yes.
Nasus Kog'Maw, it's not even close to what we were thinking of was going to happen. And I don't want to count it out just yet. I want to be clear on that. Kog'Maw has a lot of potential in his kind of max HP damage. He is known to shred tanks. You know, if they can get to a situation where they can protect him well enough and lock down with Vi and Alistar, and the game isn't too run away with, they can start melting Ryze and they can start melting Nautilus, and they can make it very difficult for the enemy team to really react. I just think that Nasus might be one too far in terms of needing to be covered for, right?
Yeah.
But that said, you know, there is a new build and there is a new way to play, and so we don't know if that is going to make up for some of this deficit.
Yeah.
It's all going to come down to Nexavis. I think that is guaranteed at this point.
Well, we'll certainly have to keep an eye on him. We got a chance to speak with the guys over at Michigan to see how they think about this.
League of Legends has really been a lot of how I've been involved outside of classes in college. In the sophomore year, I started the gaming club here at the university, and you know, I've just always been trying to build this community.
I play a lot of it, obviously, so you can't play anything for that long without having it change your life. Like, I'm into competitive now, which is really cool. It opened me to like a lot of new avenues. I met a bunch of cool people. I'm involved with the League Club on campus, setting up LANs for people. Yeah,
I think life without League would probably be a lot more lonelier. Like, I wouldn't have a lot of the friends I have right now in college. Like, a lot of the friends I have right now I met through League or met like through LAN parties that they had here in college. So I'd probably be missing a bit of the camaraderie.
Well, my mom would be a lot happier with what I'm doing with my time. But other than that, my life without League of Legends would probably be a lot more studying based. I don't know if I'd be having as much fun.
I don't know what my life would be like without League of Legends, because it's been so long. It's been such a big part of my life for 6 years now. So yeah, I can't imagine it without it.
Yeah, so we just saw Harrison there, the coach for the Michigan team. He's been going head-to-head with, I believe, Peter on the opposite side. And these two coaches kind of trying to pull together these picks and bans, these strategies, and adapt. It has been a journey for them, and life without League is pretty much unimaginable, I think, for anyone at this point. And even if you might not be a fan of the game between Ohio and Michigan, this is a new way for you guys to support that, I think.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think it's hard. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to shill hard here, right? But like, League is it is and has been a phenomenon. Yeah. Right. You know, it has been a truly wild experience, and I think, you know, I find new ways to fall in love with the game every day, every year, and I think, you know, as we have had esports and as we've had, you know, tournaments around the world, and now we get to see it come to the colleges, right, and the rivalries, and kind of finding new ways to breathe life and add different angles to kind of things that you interact with every day. I think it is really amazing. Yeah. And I think this series has been pretty amazing, and I hope we can get a Game 4 that's as great as the ones we've had.
That really adds some of the weight to this matchup. This isn't just a match between two schools. This is a new extension of the rivalry between them. 119 years. I cannot get over the fact that these two teams have been playing for 119 years, and this is the first time we get to see them really compete in an official capacity in League of Legends sort of environment, which is the environment that I myself am most familiar with.
Yeah. No, this is good. We would probably not be doing as good a job if we were casting football.
Yes.
So, you know.
He's got some sort of round spherical... No, that's an oval? What is that thing shaped like? I don't know.
It's shaped like a foot, Dom. That's why they call it football. That's That's how it works, is you run it down the 20-yard line.
Throws it down the field, and he dropped it. Okay, now they're going to try again.
Rise is running down the 20-yard line, trying to meet right up there in the middle. Ooh, and now for the first time, they're trying to get a little aggressive. Arun with the dope skin choice. I love that one. That's pretty cool. They're kind of Rhubarb's is trolling a little bit. Rhubarb's busting out a new champion. You know, still aggressive, still attack damage based. You know, not to say that it's at all the exact same like Kha'Zix, but I think, you know, when Rhubarb's gets going, I think, you know, he is one of those carry junglers. And he does need team support, where I think Nexavis is a little bit of the other way, right? Yeah. Like, he's actually more proactive for the team, but then he needs to make sure that he's transitioning to that to everyone else. Now, I will say it's a lot harder to keep a Graves down than it is to keep an Elise down if you are in the Vi-Graves matchup, right? It actually, you take a lot more damage when you get up close, right? It's very easy for him to maneuver, refresh his dashes and stuff like that. And sometimes, you know, Vi does not like getting kited. She gets kind of the button press on you, but after that, if he doesn't go down, it's going to be really hard to deal with.
Yeah. Meanwhile, OSU did start off with 2 wards on both of the buff camps. So they do see that Rhubarb starts off at the red side, and as a result, Nexavis will start off on his own red side, on the opposite side of the map. He invaded in the previous game, and immediately you can see the change up from Rhubarb. Gets red buff, heads on over to the Wolf camp, and Nexavis is invading once again. Rhubarb's will be ready, though. Might try to collapse onto Julius.
Got a blast going.
Yeah, now he sees him. Nexavis gets a ward over the wall, sees Rhubarb's there, and heads out.
Yeah, that's my favorite placing of the Blast Cone so far, because it allows you to get such easy access to that buff, whether you're an invader or even if you just want to speed up your clear a tiny little bit. Value really sticking it to OSU's bot lane yet again, and you know, and we saw this from game 1, minute 1 of game 1. You know, 1D making sure that they were making some pretty big plays onto that bot lane. And I think, you know, the Vayne still leaves much to be desired for.
Yeah, there's a ping back onto Peridot. Once again, Julius at low health might be baiting. Rhubarb's waits it out. Peridot steps back. He's got his ghost, uses it, and doesn't even have to burn flash to get out of that one.
Yeah, still, one summoner is better than nothing, right? And he just kind of walks up and just for saying hello ends up getting ghosted at, which... you know, I think they'll be happy about that. Oh, I like this.
Making it hard to clip them.
Yeah, Ixencreel is trying to make it very difficult for him to last hit. That's cute. That's you don't see that very often, but it is a very real thing.
That Nautilus hitbox is enormous.
Back when Hecarim ignored unit collision, that was a very common strategy. Just stand right in the lane.
Oh,
very difficult to deal with.
Rhubarb's on the invade, spots out Nexavis at his Gromp, level 4 to level 3, just a little bit faster, because he was able to get that Scuttle Crab in the river as well.
Yeah, this is, you know, Ixencreel, you know, we're going to check in from time to time, but Ixencreel really doing a lot to make sure that he can't just get...
His health is disappearing. He's taking those minions as well.
Yeah.
Flash there. What? Whoa! How did... What... Ixencreel solo kill for the first blood.
Yeah, that is not what anyone I think thought was about to happen right there. Man, look, I don't like playing tanks all the time, but when you can play them like that, I think that's pretty awesome. I do want to say though, we'll check out. Another gank is coming in right here.
Julius flashes and teleport being used by Ixencreel to help him out.
Right, he does end up canceling it, which I think is okay. He doesn't need to. Vacant Seeker gave up his attack. He was kind of waddling around, didn't know that he wanted to go for it. Use it or lose it, definitely the name of the game. I want to say there's a couple cool things that happened back-to-back there. First thing was Graves using the Scryer's Bloom to kind of engage the jungle. Oh, actually, let's go back here. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. So he uses his E, and an important thing to know that people might forget is that E actually lowers your armor, right? And so those attacks are a really big deal, but he is level 4. He knew his own passive timer. We didn't see it on Spectator, but right the second it had tapped out, he goes in and is able to do enough damage that I don't think you're able to really expect out of a Nautilus.
Yeah, flash auto attack. And looks like Arun is going for the E style, as that's a Doran's Ring. You don't take Doran's Ring if you're going for Q-Max.
Yeah, so a couple things about the build, right? The amount of armor that it shreds, I believe, scales up with level, right? So it actually is more valuable for you if your opponent isn't building armor, right? You know, it's like you get a serrated Dirk for free or something like that. Another thing is, this is trivia for people out there. Ooh, just misses the dredge line. Nasus's E, Spirit Fire, has more base damage and the exact same ratio as Morgana's Tormented Swear.
Wow,
So,
really?
It totally does. Yeah, it's
okay, yeah.
They're very comparable. Now, you don't think of it the same way, right? Because you're like, oh, Morgana pools and then walks back to the lane and pools and walks back to the lane. Uh-oh, getting into another kind of hit here. Thank God his hook is not up, or that would be a different thing. Bacon Seeker is now in trouble.
Ooh, Tether actually catches, but Courage of the Colossus does so much for him.
Uh-oh. Yeah, okay. Anytime I see that mark appear,
yeah,
I'm like, oh God.
Is Jhin gonna pop out?
Is Jhin gonna do the thing?
Deadly Flourish?
Right, but now, so what Nasus needs to do to kind of survive this lane is, you know, just use Spirit Fire to kind of just go even, right? But the difficult thing too is that now, if you have this move that's just going to push the wave without you, Ixen can kind of stand in the middle of it and do his best to kind of keep you from ever getting close. So there's a lot of positional requirements for this Nasus to work out if he is going to work out. But losing that first blood, big deal.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Nexavis invades. He gets some damage. That's Thunderlord's proccing. Rhubarb's trying to get some more as he's collapsed upon Julius with a snare. That was a very greedy invade.
Yeah, and this is, you know, we were talking about how Nexavis needs to step up. You know, he needs to, he is going to be the reason that this team comp works. And, you know, I would love to be proved wrong. Maybe there's some secret magic about AP Kog'Maw that I don't know about, but he is how it's going to get rolling. And I think, Rise is, okay, just a little bit of a trade. But, you know, I think that kind of pressure can get to you, and you can say, oh, I need to go for this play, I need to go for this play. But Rhubarb's has been the one constantly getting the kills when it came to them in the 1v1. And it was Nexavis who's good at keeping kind of the farm game going and getting ahead.
As a result of that, it's now Rhubarbs who's up in the farm game. And with that assist, that's now 2 kills over to Michigan, 1,500 gold. Julius doesn't even mind the minions as he rushes forward. He's got some help from Ixen. Not going to flash in, looking for the knock-up. Oh, Peridot actually gets the solo kill, but Ixen trying to catch up. That's Ghost.
He might be out of this.
Oh, and flashes over the wall. AP Kog'Maw, man.
That was pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. And I mean, you know, we're going to need a couple more plays than that. And I think that is a case where, you know, we've all done it before where you're like, oh, is my ult up? It's about 2 seconds up, but I'll engage now, and you die within those 2 seconds.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing where it's like, oh, my jungler's or my top laner's coming. We're just gonna kill him.
He's 2 seconds away.
You know, and then you go in and you take too many hits, and you know he kind of gets the fadeaway goop there, which you know, really smooth play from Peridot. And you know, I think Peridot is such an interesting player. You know, he talks about, oh, I want to play the best character that's not good. You know, and I can sympathize with that, right? You know, I play Aatrox, I play Mordecai, I play some goofy characters. Let's look at it again. You know, showing, and so here he is showing his mastery of the character in a way that I think Julius was certainly not ready for. So goes in early, right? And I think this is a smart Rise play normally, getting up just too close, and then the fadeaway.
Yeah, that Voidoo's able to pick it off. Ghosts waits for the hook.
Ooh. And flashes immediately. You know, I think Ixen also had a little bit of a misplay. You know, he used his hook to try to get into the situation, where if he had waited a little bit more, had Julius bait it back a little bit more, you know, you're not going to die in that situation. Yeah. Maybe it's a wasted roam, who knows? But, you know, he couldn't have known the damage that was about to come out. And now, Lost Chapter. Uh-oh. Rhubarbs.
Eats a lot. Rhubarb's going very aggressive there. As Ixen and Rhubarb's trying to break down this top tier 1 turret, open up that top advantage even further.
Ixen with the interesting flash. Wasn't really in range.
Oh, he did flash. Yes.
Yeah, he flashed. He didn't have an ult. He didn't really have much of anything. It's cool. I mean, you know, the nerves on these guys right now is definitely going to be running high. Nasus teleports back, uses Spirit Fire, holds the turret for just a little bit. Advantage to Michigan, but OSU definitely has a window in this game right now.
He's going to be very challenging to take advantage of it. Now 600 gold up as Bacon Seeker eats a snare, getting chipped down. Wow, forced to use the Breakable will. Pustoy has to tank it, but the fourth bullet could be a lot. Dodges to the side. The bullet catches Bacon Seeker, but he heals. Gets a heal for Pustoy to survive.
Yeah, and that is tough. You wanted to use one summoner, not both, right? Either would have done it. It is good that he healed because the flash was actually late. You know, probably shouldn't have flashed at all. But that is one of the nightmare scenarios laning against Jhin. When your support, who's usually tanking it for you, is chunked out.
Here comes Rhubarbs looking for Pustoy. Oh, man, he's got Final Hour, but now they've got Vision, and that's the clean pickup for Michigan.
Man, 1D flashes forward to get it with the Soul Flare. I don't know if that one is nerves or if that one is that dude trying to show off or something, but, you know, Graves gets it with the collateral damage.
He needs the gold for the Sightstone, man.
That's true. That's true.
Got to get those wards.
Ixen Creel out of mana right now. I don't know how well this is going to work for him. Yeah, and you can see kind of left to their own devices, Arun is doing a pretty good job of holding his own. It's just when the other people come to play that it ends up a little difficult. Graves and Jhin with an Infernal Drake.
Yes, first turret also went down to them, so that's an additional 130 gold. Nexavis might be looking for a dive. Ixen Creel is the target. He's relatively tanky. Here comes Peridot as well. Can they gift the kill? They can! To that mid laner, over the wall he goes.
And back in mid lane just in time for dinner.
Yeah.
As the wave crashes into the turret. Bacon Seeker looks like he's probably going to make a play. He will be able to. Final hour from Pustoy.
Yeah, a little optimistic. Even Ghost from Peridot, but Rhubarbs just kind of walks away.
It was not the final hour.
It was not.
It was the penultimate hour? It was the midday hour.
Yes.
You know,
it was like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it wasn't really the last one.
Yeah.
You know, but still, you know, I like this. They're really trying to play off of one another's nerves right now and one another's plays right now. I think, you know, Michigan goes up top and gets a dive. You know they just donated the dive, so now you want to push up mid. And because they pushed up mid, you want to go back. And so, you know, I'm getting the game that I had wanted where I didn't want OSU to just crumble as a result of the last game. And I think you're getting definitely kind of a tit for tat going on right now.
Oh, and the young Rise wave clear. Oh, that spell flux is such a cool thing.
Feels good, man.
I went from no mastery to mastery 5 in like a week after the new Rise came out. It just feels so good.
Yeah. Funny enough, Julius played LeBlanc, who has the exact same farm pattern.
Yeah. That's the hit the minions, then hit them with a second thing and kill them all.
Yeah. Shout out to the dudes on Champion Update. I think LeBlanc had that pattern first, and then they made it for Rise. And they were like, oh, well, it's not that similar, because it was going through iterations. And then the one, because Rise went out first, it was like, oh, okay, it is the same, huh? It's like, well, no need to change it on this one.
Yeah.
No, so I'm just saying, Julius, you know, real used to it at this point.
Yeah, he's into the big wave clear. I mean, he had the Victor as well before that.
Yeah,
lots of wave clear.
Name of the game. Yeah, you know, checking your wave clear keys. Kog'Maw certainly has a ton here, probably more than most champions that you would expect. And Nasus' Soulfire.
Whoa.
Oh man,
that Void Ooze.
It's not. He's good Rise clear too. You know, if you think about it, he's doing a lot of damage on this guy.
So it's 365 AP damage, and the projectile deals an additional 250, and trips its magic resist by about 25%.
Yep.
Oh, there he goes again.
Flash and Ghost now. Bacon Seeker getting pretty testy and is going to make it happen. Is this going to be the first turret?
No, the second, yeah.
They already got the first turret bonus, though, so that's good for them.
But that's University of Michigan pressing their advantage exactly as they did in the previous game. And even when they were down, trying to find ways to get back into this. This is not a team that will sit idly and wait for their numbers to get
Teleport
bigger.
is coming in from Nasus. Vi is on to value. Is he going to be able to survive? It looks like he's just gotten out of the way, but Bacon Seeker is going to take him down. Nexavis is in trouble in the back to the Colossus, but it looks like it's Rhubarbs that's going to eat it.
And OSU are cleaning this fight up. That's 4 kills. And Julius doesn't even ult in. And just like that, OSU are now only 800 gold down, and they are looking for a turret.
And I will give credit where it is due. I said that OSU had a comp that was a little crazy and that they needed to make some big plays to make it happen. And I think, you know, shout outs to Peridot. The game certainly isn't over yet, but this guy, this is where he thrives, right? It's like he has, speaking of which.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. Gets back in. Oh, the auto attack followed him. He's looking for it. Oh, but can't find the ultimate.
Yeah, you know, and it's a thing where it's like, I was about to say before it ended up happening and they all got kind of bodied, you know, you never want to be too far behind a weird champion.
Yeah. Here's that fight once again. Peridot, you can see flanking as Nexavis finds the entryway. Pistoy gets in, and from there it's a flank from 4 separate directions.
Damage, though.
Whoa, the Spirit Fire shredding through their health. Rhubarbs is split on one side. Meanwhile, that was Ixen on the other. Easy cleanup.
And if you're Ixen in that situation, you have a tough call to make because Vane's gonna give you a hard time. Nasa's gonna give you a hard time. You know, there's not really a good place for you to go. So kind of going for where you think it's gonna make sense. And yet again, though, I want to say, kind of calling back to game 2, Julius slow on the roam, right? You know, it seems like when he's on an assassin character or something, he feels much more confident in it. But you know, now Peridot, when he gets in his comfort zone playing the weird stuff, he is on the ball. And he is making Julius rotate to him. And so the point I was going to make about don't get behind weird stuff is you don't know, like I do not believe that University of Michigan knows what to do against an AD Cog. Other than, you know, kill him, I guess.
Yes.
Right, you know, put our moves on the man and hope that he dies.
To be completely fair, I don't even know.
Right, it's so weird. But Peridot knows, right?
Yes.
And you know, unless this is the first time he's ever played it, which I doubt, OSU knows what to do to play with it. And so when you give up these advantages that you shouldn't have given up, it changes the texture of the game, I think, in such a very dramatic way that now Michigan, though the gold is even, I would say is actually a little behind, simply because how they progress their fights from here is not clear.
Yes. Certainly is going to be a challenge to see if they can get themselves back into this. Now they're grouped up in the mid lane with pressure in the side lanes. This is Drake respawning in 5 seconds, a second Infernal, which I'm sure Michigan would love, as wards are dropped all over the place to make sure that there's vision. Looks like OSU might want to fight this. Infernal Drake is cleaned up, but that's Michigan going to take the portal right on out.
Yo, and that is the kind of creative Rise usage that I think we like to see. You know, Rise beam me up. And that, I believe, is second Infernal.
Yes, that is their second Infernal.
Yeah, and so, you know, Value, certainly a little further behind than he's been in their the games that they were victorious, but still a threat right now.
Yeah, pops open with that curtain call. 4th bullet finds Bacon Seeker, but at close to full health, it doesn't do anywhere near enough damage.
Yeah, an important thing to note, actually, Nexavis is on a control ward, so he knows that they cannot see him.
Uh-oh, Rhubarbs might... Oh, regret, don't go in. 1D. Oh, they actually split. Will they be able to get anyone? That goes down. Rhubarbs is still alive. Peridot might have overextended auto attack.
Hey.
It's a shutdown. Homing.
Hit him with the rune.
Yep. Throwing that homing auto attack through Flash. Meanwhile, ZZ Rot Portal in the bottom lane going to push. They've caught out to Pistoy. Are they going to be able to get the kill? They do. Bacon Seeker trying to stall this out. There's the Unbreakable Will. Unstoppable Alistar charging forward, but eats a crit to the face and drops in the meanwhile. That's 3 deaths for OSU.
Right, and so this is... It's so difficult, right? They were like, oh, we can go in even if there's danger here because we'll be able to survive it. And the first burst from Kog'Maw, Graves has to dash, use his ult, and flash to get away, right? But then Kog'Maw is in the incorrect position, and Julius is able to walk up and unload a lot of spell damage, and they're able to turn this around. There's something that is going to come up a lot in these fights for a while that I want to talk about, and it's curtain call, right? We are used to, and have been used to for a long time. Well, let's see. So they know something's going on around here. They don't know where. They see, and there it is. But watch Rhubarb's health.
Oh,
that is insane. But then Julius with the root and the one little crystal there to kind of take it out as we're going to roll up here. And Pistoy, you know, I don't want to blame this person because there's been a lot of champions here to kind of get it out for him. But the Vayne, every time I see plays like this, I'm like, should you just be a different champion? You know, like, should you have just picked something else that's going to survive in these situations and not just get kind of clapped, so to speak? But anyways, I'll finally get it out. The point is, we are used to Jins that have built a ton of armor penetration, and we're used to a ton of the spell damage being super relevant, where these days, now that he's going back to the crit build, it's going to take a while. because the fourth shot crits, you know, and so you're not going to be seeing those big fourth shots until you get the Infinity Edge finished, until he has a lot of other stuff. But then when you do see that, it is going to hurt quite a lot. So the curtain call is going to care a lot more about the fourth shot, as now Julius teleporting in.
Oh, able to find Arun overextended. Only the ZZ Rot in the Phage. Arun's doing quite a bit, but he's got not that much health. There's the collapse from Value.
Man.
I think he got in on the assist with that snare. And Ixencreel is going to snag the kill. So very vital. Bacon Seeker in 1D trying to trade it out. That's Nexavis going a little bit too far. Rhubarbs flashes away. The port bullet is dodged by Pustoy. And meanwhile, snare catches Bacon Seeker. Peridot trying to find the assassination from long range as Nexavis finds one. Bacon Seeker buys time on the right side. Nexavis drops to Ixencreel. Bacon Seeker will fall, but Value is on top of the Kog'Maw. He's got no summoner spell.
Pustoy is just like,
and he's out. Pustoy makes it back to base. Tag, you are it.
Look, I don't blame him, man. You got to get out of there. I just think that's a St. Vicious recall. That's you don't just recall in full view the enemy team, because you could have been destroyed there. But man, they put so many resources into getting Nasus. I didn't think they were going to be able to finish it, but I think it comes down to a crucial mistake by Nexavis. I don't know if it was intended or not, but he actually ults onto Graves rather than ulting onto Karma, who's nearby. If he ults onto Karma, he's able to get that kill very quickly and shut down a lot of the time it takes. Instead, he gets on Graves. Karma is just kind of walking the side. We'll kind of see it here. So, you know, beautiful coordination. Still, a lot was used here in this case. But I want to watch it here. So you see 1D is in a terrible spot, right? He's able to flash away. But when he goes on to Rhubarbs, right, 1D is just over here kind of supporting him, saving him, right, gets a couple more shields, slowing him down, rooting him down, such that when Ixencreel comes up, he is not at all where he wants to be. And then, of course, Pustoy is just like, dog, I am so not about this right now. You know, they get the root, they get the double root just in case. Wow. Still a significant amount of damage coming out from right there, and the Kog'Maw passive does hurt, but man, these fights are playing out pretty crazy. Yeah. It's coming down to mid laner versus mid laner.
This game is actually getting a little bit ridiculous for a potential series ender. Michigan still up 2-1 right now. 3,000 gold ahead. And yes, that is mid lane Kog'Maw and top lane Nasus. OSU trying to break out something wacky, but their time is running out as, whoa, they might be trying to add some time to the clock as they have found 1D and put him down. That's Rhubarbs on the far side, cleaned up as OSU find two very strong picks. 23 minutes in, they've got Vayne and Kog'Maw. They're doing the Baron. Michigan are trying to race over there right now. That's the curtain call opening up.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is kind of razor thin. Ixencreel, one of the big carries for the team. He's going to have a perfect depth charge. He's trying to goes for it.
That's a big knockup onto everyone. Bacon Seeker knocks it away. Value forced to flash out. Ixencreel is right in the middle of things, trying to clean it up. The AoE is huge with Ixencreel, but Pustoy looks for it. Julius, the sole survivor, flashes forward, looking for Peridot. Does he have it? And he will get bopped by Arun, but that is an unofficial ace for OSU. However, they are dissuaded from the Baron.
And if you start, they started that 3v5. That is not how you want it to be, and I feel like you know Nautilus is coming, so spread out a little bit, right? That is unnecessary damage and CC that went on the whole team, and now Rhubarbs is going to go over and take this Mountain Drake, right? That's going to be 3 dragons. There's going to be another one. So here it is. Here's the setup. Beautiful play by Bacon Seeker, right? And now you're seeing the power of the AP Kog'Maw, just locking people down and kind of executing, right? Here you go. Rhubarbs, what is he going to do? Hit him with the artillery, and then, Dom, they go in for Baron.
Very, very strong attempt at the play, but the brilliant response from U of M to try to get back in there, and they've got enough disruption.
This is the Nautilus dream right now. 5 people knocked up by that ability.
Man, that courage of the Colossus shield is enormous. Baron is spraying all over the top of them as well. Julius is staggering AoE with Value. This is just going so great for them to turn it around. You can see Julius finally went down there, 7-2-4 when it was all said and done. And Arun forced to walk away as the sole survivor of that as the map resets once again. It's 1,800 gold, less than a single item's worth separating these two teams. This game is neck and neck. OSU are fighting for their lives.
Most definitely, and I think what this fight showed me was that, look, Peridot's a legend.
Yes.
I love this player. I think he's awesome. But OSU needs someone else to be contributing, right? You know, I've been very critical of Pistoi's Vayne. Apparently, Twitch chat has been very critical of Pistoi's Vayne. But I think, I think that fight, he wasn't really set up for success. You know, they funneled into this small area, and now they're going to have to do it again. Though this time, OSU, should they choose to respond, is going to be the aggressor.
They've got vision of this. There goes teleport into the backside of the pit from Arun, but Baron is already picked up. Bacon Seeker gets a huge knockup. Arun joins in. There's Peridot knocked up. Exhaust on the Pistoi. The carries can't do anything. Peridot drops. Arun will fall. Pistoi gets pulled back in, and OSU are falling apart at the seams. And ace for one. And U of M are running away with this now.
The curtain call, the melee range curtain call, is one of the more subtle ways to disrespect your opponents. It's like, oh, are you out of CC? Do you not have any?
Oh, yeah.
Don't mind me. And they go right for it. And I think that was awesome. They were burning down the Baron. The moment they saw the teleport, they started using even more abilities.
Yeah.
They were like, we really, really have to get this thing down. They're not going to be able to get a Nexus turret, but this is now a huge swing in what has been a very, very close game so far. Even the previous Baron attempt, right? They still came out ahead. They still got 05 people.
Yeah, here's that fight once again. The very aggressive call.
Yeah, Vi goes in to try to get a steal, and by that point they had already committed, even though the steal did not go their way. Here you go, Rhubarbs flashes in and makes sure he can try to get this done. Pistoi putting as much damage onto Rhubarbs as possible. In the end, does get this kill, but it's not enough. Oh. There just aren't people to block the bullets.
Yeah. Not enough big health balls in front of him to soak that damage. Now, this is University of Michigan. They've got a recall after taking that inhibitor. Looks like they're trying to split across the map. Ixencreel has got teleport right now, so they're going to be pressuring from multiple lanes. Arun does not. He does have a ZZ Rot to try to stall this out, but Michigan are not going to give OSU the opportunity.
Yeah, Ixencreel is just battling with Arun as much as he can. He's trying to force out his ultimate. If you look, you know, he just ran him out of town. Now, it does cost Ixencreel a lot of mana to do that. It is important to note. So while he does have some side lane pressure, it's not as much as he would like. If Arun comes back, he can potentially win and force that back. So it's going to be on Michigan to say that with this Baron buff, we're going to move in, we're going to move out, we're going to move in, and we're going to try to shell game and swap everyone around to make sure that we can make this happen. But for right now, Arun is not there, and here comes the curtain call. First shot out onto Peridot.
Yeah, looking for a few more. Peridot taking these minions out with Bacon Seeker in the front. There's the teleport as they look for the turret.
Lord.
Diving in, Peridot is in the front. That Pistoi in the back trying to clear it out. And just like that, Bacon Seeker is dead. Pistoi is dead.
Ixencreel is going off.
And oh my God, OSU might have just lost the game right now. 4 people are dead. Where is that portal going? That's not a good place. Yeah. Under the fountain to look for the kill. They feed 2 over.
That is not where you want to be. It doesn't look like it's going to matter because Jin is alive and he is a major threat to this Nexus right now. Julia's trolling his team a little bit. I'm sure they are certainly very happy as the University of Michigan looks to take it right now, closing the series 3-1. They got their wish.
Exactly. The chance